have complete permission to play this from the author. And this is going to blow some of your minds. Pretty wild stuff. So just take a listen.
In the immediate aftermath of the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the American government came to the conclusion that a lone gunman had changed the course of human history by killing the most powerful man in the world with 3 rifle shots fired from the elevated window of an office building. And for half a century, they have stuck rigidly to this fabrication, while critics, scientists, playwrights and poets have produced books and essays and films to prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that this version of our Western history is a physical impossibility. Over and over again, we have been told that this man did it, by himself. He didn't have any help, and he did it because he was a lonely madman and a communist to boot. We are also meant to believe that there is nothing remotely suspicious in his being shot on live television in a basement full of police officers before he had a chance to tell his side of the story. So there is quite clearly no need to investigate further. Of course, every thinking person knows this is absolute nonsense. And being nonsensical, it naturally leads thinking people to ask some very important questions, like, why did the American government come up with such a lame and improbable scenario to account for what had happened? And then why did they stick with it so dogmatically for so many years afterwards? Exactly what and who are they protecting? And how can it be that even such venerable institutions as the BBC have played along with this charade in the intervening decades? We now know that there were actually 8 riflemen firing at the president on that day. We know where they were located in Dealey Plaza, and we know their names. However, those with sharp eyes will already be asking themselves why we were only showing the location of 6 assassins in this schematic. We're doing this because any casual onlooker who happened to be in Dealey Plaza at 12:29 on November 22nd, 1963, might well have caught sight of these 6. Many people did. Witnesses like Arnold Rowland, Richard Randolph Carr, Lee Bowers, Amos Hewins, Mary Mormon, they all gave precise descriptions of men they observed in the windows of the book depository and on the famous grassy knoll. But none of them observed 2 of the riflemen who shot at the president. No one did. And the reason why no one did is itself the key to the mystery. A mystery which begins with a very simple question. Supposing you wanted to shoot at a man on a barren, empty street without anybody seeing you, where could you possibly hide? However, the riflemen who took part in this...
Okay, now I know that you're thinking this is going to be about the death of JFK, and you're wrong. And I'm going to show you why. And here's what it's about, all right? Here we go.
They hired the 8 snipers and paid them. We even know how much they paid them. So who were these men? What brought them together to orchestrate such a foul and despicable deed? Why did they, and more importantly those who came after them, cover up the crime with such ruthless brutality for so long afterwards? And how can it be that these men and what they stood for has left an indelible legacy which still influences our daily lives right up to the present day? To answer these questions, we must inevitably step back into history, and most people will not like this very much, because most people have very little interest in history. This, however, is going to be a history lesson, quite unlike anything that anyone has ever heard. It certainly will be nothing like what we are taught in school, and yet it begins with a name which most people have heard, but probably won't be able to place. The name of E.H. Harriman. Who was E.H. Harriman?
Dynamite's ready, Butch.
Mr. E.H. Harriman himself, he had the confidence of...
Open the door or that's it!
You think E.H. Harriman would get himself killed for you? Woodcock?
I worked for Mr. E.H. Harriman on the Union Pacific Railroad, and he entrusted me.
I'm sure Americans in particular will be amused to learn that Edward Henry Harriman was actually a real historical figure. This man was one of America's first industrial giants, and like the Rockefellers in oil and the Carnegies in steel, He got his start by borrowing money from the Rothschilds, of whom we'll hear more later, to create a monopoly for his own business, which was railroads. He was the 19th century railroad king. It was a monopoly which wouldn't be allowed today, and it helped in turn to create the Rockefeller oil monopoly. Now, this gave America's first industrial giants colossal power. These were the first people in human history, we mustn't forget, whose businesses were worth more than most countries. People whose fortunes dwarfed anything that the Caesars or the Tudors or the Medici ever dreamed of. So, being greedy, they used this power to engage in price fixing. Naturally, they formed a cartel. Their attitude was that they could charge whatever they liked for steel and oil and transporting goods on the railways. They knew that all American business was dependent on them.
Now, you may be asking, why is this man still alive? Why is this man protected? Well, it's simple. He's a Danish citizen. And they don't have the CIA over there. They don't kill people that do things like this, although they could send somebody over there. This guy's still very much alive and just did a scathing expose on the truth of what happened to JFK.
They'd made sure there was no competition, so they could ignore market forces and charge pretty much whatever they liked. Now, this naturally caused resentment, and it's very interesting that the press at that time started calling these first Illuminati bankers and industrialists robber barons. Of course, once these fortunes began to be made, others naturally tried to get in on the act. One who succeeded was J.P. Morgan, who became a private banker during this period. But modern critics have discovered that far from being the richest man in America everyone thought he was, it turned out upon his death that Morgan actually only owned 17% of Morgan Bank, and that, like so many others, he was simply a front for the Rothschilds family. 5 years after E.H. Harriman died and handed on the business to his sons, W. Averill Harriman and E. Rowland Harriman, this new breed of Western business moguls faced their first really big test with the coming of World War I. Once again, we must never forget that this was the first time in human history that a truly global conflict had been fought. It was sure to have long-lasting international repercussions, and many observers at the time had their doubts as to whether Western industrial capitalism, which was still in its infancy, could cope with the demands of war production. In the world economic recession which followed, many feared these fledgling industries might vanish altogether as countries struggled with debt and war reparations. But actually, Western capitalism emerged from World War I in a far stronger state than it was in at the beginning. So how could this be? The First World War taught the new class of international bankers and industrialists a very simple lesson. War is good for business. Take, for instance, Remington. We tend to associate their name with typewriters, but actually they made most of the rifles and handguns used during the Great War, and made a colossal fortune in the process. The banks, in their turn, lapped this up because it meant that defence contractors were having no trouble repaying the huge loans they had outstanding, and, best of all, the world's richest nations had had to borrow huge sums from the merchant bankers in the first place to finance the war, the Americans and the British just as much as the Germans. And they would now be repaying these loans to the banks for decades to come at a steep rate of interest. For international merchant bankers, the Rothschilds in particular, the First World War had been a gift from heaven. And people watching this should ask themselves a simple question before passing judgment. Supposing you were in business during that war, and the contract you had with the government to supply the troops with tin hats, or boots, or uniforms, or gunpowder was netting you millions every year in profit. And then one day the war ended, and your money stopped completely. What do you think your attitude to war might be? That war was good for business was not the only lesson the ruling classes learned during this period. The Russian Revolution of 1917 terrified rich people all over the world. Watching Lenin and Trotsky taking over such a vast area of the globe, the kings and queens of Europe's tiny sovereign states in particular became extremely nervous. The question on all their minds was, supposing the communist success in Russia should inspire their own working class to rise in revolt. Many of the crowned heads of Europe, like England's George V, had been related to Tsar Nicholas, and the brutal execution of the Tsar and his family particularly the bayoneting of his young daughters, sent a shockwave through the upper classes of every nation. Did a similar fate lie in store for the royal families of Holland, Sweden, Spain and England? This question was lying heavily on the thoughts of the elite when the First World War ended in 1918, and it had the effect of focusing the minds of the new Illuminati bankers and industrialists on the question of what to do for best with a defeated and dilapidated Germany. The population were poor, penniless and worn out, yet the German economy still contained some of the most sophisticated and expensive industrial stock on the planet. The Illuminati sensed an opportunity. Supposing, as the world's first international businessmen, they could get their hands on Germany's steel mills, her coal mines, her factories, ports and her shipbuilding industry. Over the years, certain names have become very familiar to those who maintain an interest in the Kennedy assassination. None more so than Allen Dulles, whom Kennedy fired after the Bay of Pigs disaster, and yet later he somehow managed to chair the Warren Commission, which was supposed to be investigating Kennedy's death. Something few people know, however, is that Dulles and his older brother John Foster Dulles wrote the Treaty of Versailles. They were both lawyers of Sullivan and Cromwell, and it was largely they who decided that the German people must pay war reparations totalling 135 billion marks. A mind-boggling sum at that time, which today translates into 250 trillion. When this was announced, the legendary UK economist J. Maynard Keynes maintained it was a ludicrous sum, and he did a swift calculation from which he reasoned that it would take Germany until 1988, 60 years hard labour, to pay it off. But it didn't. So why? Maynard Keynes sensed that the Dulles brothers, backed as they were by the new Illuminati, were trying quite deliberately to sabotage the German economy, and they succeeded. As mass unemployment led to hyperinflation, the famous stories of people papering their walls with worthless Reichsmarks and handing over their life savings for a loaf of bread soon followed. With German investors on their knees, the new Illuminati moved in and began buying up shares of stock in German industry at a knockdown price. Now, why did they do this? The cynical mind would say to make a buck, but it really wasn't that simple. What they wanted was to make Germany strong again so that she would become a bulwark against Soviet communism.
Germany was fighting for its life. Certain measures were needed to protect it from its enemies. I cannot say that I am sorry we applied those measures. We were a bulwark against Bolshevism. We were a pillar of Western culture. A bulwark and a pillar the West may yet wish to retain.
It was around this time that the newspapers, which these same rich people owned, made sure the word Bolshi, a truncation of Bolshevik, entered the English language, so that we would associate Bolshevism with aggression. And it was with these subtle and not so subtle methods that the international elite began to shape our destiny for the remainder of the 20th century. The intellectuals of the period were furious. They were incensed, they were depressed, and you get a very good feeling of the political atmosphere of the time from the diaries of the Labour politician Harold Nicholson, when he writes, "We have lost our willpower since our willpower is divided. The people of the governing class think only of their own fortunes, which means hatred of the Reds. Our class interests cut across our national interests, and I go to bed in gloom." With such heavy investment coming into the country, particularly from America and Britain, Germany began to recover very rapidly. And then the new class of international financiers began searching around for a homegrown, authoritarian political movement they could support. What they needed was someone they could count on to be both aggressive and expansionist. Ultra-right-wing causes, which at normal times would have been ignored and marginalised, were suddenly given very careful consideration, until finally the rich elite found a man and an idea which they felt might deliver the political outcome they desired. Adolf Hitler and his fledgling National Socialist Party. At the same time that the world's rich elite began grooming Hitler for his starring role, they also became even more deeply involved in military intelligence. I say even more because the Dulles brothers, Averell Harriman, and the Chief of Remington, Samuel Bush, a man referred to as the original Merchant of Death, had a relationship with American military intelligence stretching back into World War I. The lesson here being that the American variant of military intelligence started out with businessmen protecting their investments, just as if they were a mafia. Right from the very beginning, it had nothing to do with national security and everything to do with money. In Hitler, the Illuminati had found a ready-made stooge who could be the face of this autocratic new movement. And when the time came to put together a new secret intelligence service which was going to help protect all the money they had tied up in the German economy, these men also found one was readily available: the Order of the Skull and Bones at Yale University. Discussion of secret societies is something of a minefield because it so easily invites ridicule. It is very difficult for the general public to accept that the super-rich leaders of their Western world can possibly be as mad and deranged as they actually are. The public, generally speaking, are sensible and level-headed people who have to balance their checkbooks, so they inevitably tend to laugh at stories about Satanists and occult believers. But if you talk to any well-informed historians, they are all aware of the important role which various secret societies have played in human history. The Black Hand always played a pivotal role in the history of the mafia. If you talk to anyone in the UK who is political and read books, they are always aware that the ruling class of Britain, including every member of the royal family, is a Freemason. And the emblem of the death's head was sported on the caps of the high-ranking Nazi officers from the very beginning. The symbols of these secret societies always seem to play around with some kind of skull and bones motif, so that it's abundantly clear what their mission statement is. These people are pirates, willing to commit any crime for big money. And they first became established in America at Yale University in 1833 with General William Huntington Russell and Alphonso Taft. Of course, being a secret society, they made other people curious about them, and in 1867 some undergraduates from a rival campus society broke into their headquarters to see what this skull and bones thing was all about. They reported that inside there were lots of lamps and candles, many dilapidated human skulls lying next to a fool's cap and bells, and it was morbidly dark because the walls were covered in black velvet. Having established a suitably satanic atmosphere, initiation rites were then performed on new members, who had to engage in group masturbation and sodomy while they lay in a coffin. Now, it's very easy to dismiss all of this as bizarre, silly and irrelevant until you see the list of Skull and Bones members who have ruled America since Skull and Bones began. Although they only graduate 15 initiates a year, those 15 have always gone on to occupy the very highest positions in American society. US Secretary of State William Max Evarts was a bonesman, as was Treasury Secretary Franklin McVeigh, Chief Justice Simeon Eben Baldwin, and the 27th President of the United States, William Howard Taft. The founder of American football, Walter Camp, came through Skull and Bones, as did the very first chairman of the Federal Reserve, Pierre Jay, and director of Standard Oil, Percy Rockefeller. Averell Harriman, the son of E.H. Harriman and founder of Harriman Brothers, the largest investment bank in the world, was a bonesman, and so were both of the George Bush presidents. During his premiership, John F. Kennedy was surrounded by bonesmen like McGeorge Bundy and David Acheson, son of Dean Acheson. Kennedy knew these men refer to each other as brothers under the skin. They swear an oath of secrecy and then ruthlessly vow to help each other's careers in any way they can throughout their lives, even if it means committing murder.
And we all know what they term as, I was going to show y'all something else in a minute. We all know what they have called the speech that got JFK killed. Y'all all remember what that was about? Hello, boys.
What's up?
Hey,
I'm on my show. What are y'all doing?
We were.
you're on your show?
You have the
Yes.
you have the big cover up. We're listening to the Skull and Bones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's Skull and Bones night? Yes.
Talking about who runs this country and why.
Ooh, lot to say on that one, man. That's a deep topic, man. That's
One word, Debbie.
there's been
The Jews.
the Jews. Yeah.
Nah.
Why go any further than that? Really?
Nah, it's not the Jews.
Oh, come on. The Rothschilds, Debbie.
Are they Jewish?
Yeah.
Are they?
What?
You always go, what? Yeah, I just got off a show and it was good. It was some really cool people that I was talking to. Really,
I
really
wanted to
cool.
read my letter to the porn company yesterday.
You're an angel. What are you
No.
doing up so late?
Waiting for you.
Aww.
And what the fuck are you doing having ice cream?
I'm not having ice cream.
You said you ate sugar.
It wasn't ice cream.
Oh, fuck. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking of my fantasy here, but that's fine.
Have you had ice cream?
Yes, I have.
Then don't laugh at me.
Ooh.
We're sick people. We're really sick
We are.
people. We really are. We're fucked up. Okay, read your letter, Precious. Do you have it with you?
Jewish producer, get my letter out. Are we on live right now?
I'm on. Yeah, I'm on.
All right. JP, get the letter.
Oh.
Find
the
the letter.
fucking letter.
Man.
Find the letter.
It's gonna take me forever.
Oh, come on, you jackass.
Well, then let me play the speech that got JFK killed and what he said in that.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
Take a listen to what he said. Just part of it.
Meanwhile, I'll look for the letter.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
That right there is completely enough that speaks volumes, what he just said. The survival of our nation is in danger
Well,
without conserving what we have. That's true.
you know what? I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, I mean, and I guess secret societies may certainly play a role in not preserving our nation. And we don't have necessarily, well, we have secret societies. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know if there's secret societies today, but we have very vindictive societies today. And very...
Trust me, they're very secret.
Well, do you think John Wiley Price is part of any secret society?
I think John Wiley Price is part of the Nation of Islam.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it weren't for white guilt, would he have any power?
No, he wouldn't have any power. And I'll tell you something else, Mr. Midnight Movie. I told y'all that Cosby would be found, that he would walk.
Yeah, well,
Because this country is scared to death to convict anybody that is from African American descent because we are held hostage by white guilt. Am I not right, Mr. Midnight Movie?
that's a large extent of it. And, well,
No, because they're scared that they'll riot in the streets.
well, look what they did with the guy, Philando Castile. I mean, their Black Lives Matter has kind of been
We're held
rejuvenated.
hostage. We're held hostage.
Yeah, we're held hostage by their behavior. We subsidize them, I mean, those that are racist to live next to us. And it's just a sucky thing altogether. And the truth is, and I don't know who's behind it, but, there's been a lot of monetizations on YouTube. And a lot of these Fortune 500 companies have diversity programs that are that they have in their companies. And I wonder if because it was these large companies that caused YouTube to monetize these videos, because a lot of these companies were pulling out of YouTube.
They pulled them out because of people that were on the right. If you were on the left, you were fine.
Yeah. And these Fortune 500 companies, particularly these companies that have, because there's a lot of social justice warriors within these diversity companies, and they tweaked the nose of a lot of these individuals in these Fortune 500 companies to curtail free speech, because these people that control these diversity departments, they already have the colleges, and SJWs were getting their asses kicked on social media. So in come these Fortune 500, these social justice warriors to kind of say, hey, you need to put a stop to this. You need to monetize these videos. Because guess what? If they have to debate, they're not going to win. They can't win the argument.
You're making a lot of sense. Keep going.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, and I don't want to, just go on just to go, but yeah, I mean, because anytime they debate, they get their asses kicked. Social justice warriors are getting their asses kicked, in debates, and now they're kind of getting their asses kicked by decent, hardworking Americans. We haven't gone up against the hardcore civil rights movement that knows how to defend. I mean, Antifa, they're pussies. But some of these black BLM, who I think that people like the Proud Boys and stuff are going to go up against next, they're going to find a much tougher fight on their hands, because the people in the hood, I mean, because people in the hood, a lot of them are in BLM, and they know how to fight a little bit better and are better skilled than Antifa. Just a thought out there. And they're also going to cry racism a lot more when they are when there is an attack. But I think sooner or later,
but a lot of it is divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. It's just like back in the days of Caesar and Osiris. Back in those days, Caesar was surrounded by haters, and what they did in those days was keep the people fighting, and they don't pay attention to what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's the thought process of the elite, of the people in charge, because I don't care what anybody says. Somewhere there's a bunch of people that are running this whole game.
Well, Debbie, I think there are a lot of people that I mean, particularly within the civil rights community, they make a lot of money out of keeping things stirred up and over-dramatizing things. And they don't want, and also there are a lot of people who identify as being a victim. And between those two people, the people who make money and the majority of the people in that community that want to be thought of as a victim, they're gaining together, and they don't want debate. They don't want free speech. And together they want to shut things down. And then, yeah, of course, there are going to be people who are going to, they're going to be bailouts in between, because they're not going to keep their eyes on the real prize. But the truth is, there are a lot of race hustlers out there that make money off there being dissension.
Exactly. Divide and conquer.
Yeah, well, I guess it's... Well, you know what?
That's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, the one thing that I'd like to see happen is at least the Republican and Libertarian parties lose their white guilt, because even the Republicans and the libertarians seem to want to cater and kiss the ass of minorities. And it's like, you know what? Stop kissing their ass. Those who like you will like you. Those that don't, won't. And a lot of them, when they're kissing their ass, they fucking still hate you. What the fuck does it matter whether they like you or not? You know, if they don't like you, you shouldn't fucking like them back or kiss their ass and tell them what you think they want to hear. These are abusive son of a bitches. These are some of the most abusive, foul pieces of shit that have ever come down the pike. And why we're giving in to them and why we're trying to court them is fucking beyond me. Let fucking Bill Maher fucking suck Ice Cube's dick and sit there and mea culpa to him. But why the fuck should conservatives do it? Fuck that shit. I say to them, okay, if black people or minorities are so mistreated, well, go to another country and show it to me in practice. Don't tell me in theory. Show me in practice how we should behave. Show me a country in practice. Other than that, I don't give a hoot what you say.
Very good. Very well put.
Now, my porn letter, I don't know if JP has found the goddamn thing yet. His computer went nuts on him, and he's not been able...
I did. I'm having problems. Still looking, though.
God damn it, JP.
But I think, you know what? Hold on. I think I can find the fucking
We are
thing.
opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of election, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. And that's from JFK, the speech that got him killed, part of it. So there you go. Anyway, I think that there's more in this speech than you realize. No president.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and I'm sorry if I interrupted you, but for me, a lot of times I'm always weary, for me, and this is just me, of conspiracy theories because so many people, like particularly amongst the civil rights community, so many of them use it for reasons for their failure. Like, this is what they're doing to us, and it's used so often. A lot of it, to me, I'm always weary of that.
Meaning what? I mean, what do you mean used for what? Now, say that one more time.
Well, I mean, Debbie, if you ever listen, like if you ever sit and listen to like shows like TRS,
I can't do it. I can't do it.
But if you even ever listen to the 15 minutes of that shit, everything is a fucking conspiracy on why their lives.
Oh, I know. Everything was out to get the black man. The black man never had a chance.
And this is how they, and every fuck, I mean, and I was just looking at the thing Black Panther, and there are black militants who are saying this is just another attempt for white media to denigrate us. Everything is a hidden fucking message. It's such fucking bullshit. And it's like,
and Mr. Midnight Movie never cusses like this. He's being, when he's doing this, he means he's really, he has a lot of, he's very, this is very heartfelt.
Yeah. And are we allowed to swear at all on this show? I mean, on this show at this time, or?
Oh, shut up.
Are we stopping the cursing?
No. Say whatever
we had and there was a magnificent letter. Wait, do I have the letter in front of me? Shit. Hold on a second here. Oh, shit. I don't know if I can. Damn it.
Me and Mr. Midnight Movie and Jewish Priest have been together for upwards to 5-6 years now, doing podcasts. Yes, we have. And Mr. Midnight Movie believes that this country is also guilty of causing the racial divide by propagating and perpetrating a race war between blacks and whites.
I think white guilt, and I think it certainly started in this. It seems to have gotten its zenith in the 1960s and really grabbed a stronghold by the late 1960s, 70s, and that stranglehold of double standards of conduct and not taking any form of responsibility and non-objectivity has continued in America still today. And so many of us are so afraid of being a racist that we will kowtow to the worst elements of the black, brown, and even Asian community.
And I have found the letter.
Yes.
So when we're ready, we can do a little quick reading of that.
Yes.
Yes. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. Dear, and I'll make this quick. Dear sirs, we are Mr. Midnight Movie Productions, a multimedia entertainment vehicle based in Culver City, California. We have a keen interest in learning more about MFX porn. As longtime researchers of the pornography industry, we have noticed that the Brazilian women in your videos are the most passionate and aggressive women in the world of pornography. We would like to arrange to come to Brazil, do interviews with new MFX models, and the people behind the scenes of creating such wonderful footage for the world to find. If getting to Brazil proves too difficult, we would like to arrange interviews for our podcast that we create here at our home studio. We speak English, so we would need either an English-speaking representative or translator to help. We want the world to know about your productions. More importantly, we want to answer the biggest question of all: can this sort of passion and aggression be duplicated or taught here in America? Thank you for your time, and we do look forward to hearing from you soon.
I think you should have laid out more of what you're going to do and what you need.
Good idea.
Yes.
I think Mr. Midnight Movie did give me a couple pointers on that too. We do have a couple edits in mind.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
We do want the response.
I would lay out a little bit more of your plans, what you plan on doing, or what you'd like to do. You know what I mean? I would. That's just my whatever. My 2 cents.
Yeah, a little bit more of the why. Yeah, that's a big part of it. Okay.
So, Mr. Dutt...
Duly noted.
But by the way, Mr. Dutt said 3M is not a fan of the black man, yet a fan of violent Brazilian porn, which I cannot, well, except for not being a fan of the black man, but I am a fan of somewhat violent, I would say moderately violent Brazilian porn, stuff that is not actually abusive, but more of an acting style of abuse. But yes, I am, and it is very artistic the way they do it and the passion that they show. And I don't think that Dutt has probably ever seen a Brazilian MFX Brazilian porn. I wonder he would not. He might be a fan himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Something to think about.
Yes, absolutely. And I wonder, though, if JFK, if he had been alive, if he would have been a fan of Brazilian porn. Or probably, I wonder if he had many Brazilian prostitutes, because he was known as a man to have... I heard he had a lot of orgies. He was one of the most horny, orgiest man ever in the White House.
Hold on a second. I got to ring you guys in. Hold on. I can't do this. I have to ring you in. I have to hang up on you, then I have to ring you in, boys.
Who's calling?
I think it was Sleep the God. I'm not sure because it's not showing up on my call list now. Wait a minute. It says new call. Oh, no, it's a bunch of people. It's like, it's 11 people on the call. It's Balls, Goose, Sleep, Pterodax, and so just a bunch of people like that. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
Hold on just a second. We'll do that. Maybe we'll bring them in. I don't know. We'll see. I did meet some new people earlier I wanted to give out thanks to, and it was Cortana and Casper Parks and Brian, some really amazing people that I met, and they were just amazing, truly amazing. Thank you for having me on your show. That was amazingly fun and informational, just unbelievable. Everything was. I'm just crazy about that.
Can I mention, Jeff Gray, you are wrong, by the way. Brazilian porn is not all anal. You are completely wrong. Wrong.
No, he's leaving out a big portion of some of the categories that they cover. It's pretty entertaining.
You are out of the loop. Completely out of the loop. It is not all anal. It is anything but all anal. There's a lot of anal licking, but no, I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's a little bit too much.
We do need to defend ourselves, though, Debbie.
Yeah, I can see that. JFK, I was getting to a point earlier that had to do about UFOs that was pretty amazing.
All right.
Well, no, I can wait.
No, that's the part of the area of the whole JFK thing that I really enjoy studying. I like that whole area.
Well, the president's interest in the UFOs shortly before his death is likely to have fueled the conspiracy theories about his assassination. Alien researchers say that the latest documents released by the CIA add weight to the suggestion that the president could have been shot to stop him from talking about the truth of UFOs. In one of the secret documents released under the Freedom of Information Act, JFK wrote to the director asking for the UFO files, and I will read that now. It says, "Dear," it's a memorandum, top secret, November the 12th, 1963. Subject, classification, revenue of all UFO intelligent films affecting national security. I had discussed with you previously, I have intimidated blank, have instrumented James Webb to develop a program with the Soviet Union in joint space and something exploration. It would be very helpful if you would have the high threat cases reviewed with the purpose of identification and bona fide something to classified CIA and USAF courses. It is important that we make a clear distinguish between what we know and what is unknown to the events that the Soviets try to mistake our intended cooperation as a cover for intelligence rather than their defense of space program. When this data was sorted out, I would like for you to also arrange a program that of data sharing with NASA where unknowns are a factor. This will help the NASA mission directors in their defense responsibilities. I would like to hear from you. Thank you, John F. Kennedy. And in the second memo to the NASA administration, the president expressed a desire for cooperation with the former Soviet Union on mutual outer space activities. He knew about the unknown things that were in the sky. And I'm sitting here looking at it. It's pretty scary stuff. And then he died, 10 days later?
You know, I'll tell you something. When my father was in the Air Force, now he didn't believe in any of the UFO stuff, but he said, and he could be, my old man could be absolutely off base. But after the Second World War, they hired a lot of German scientists. Both the Soviet Union and the United States both took Hitler's German scientists and basically, working on our, technological program and later on into our space program. And a lot of the stuff that they knew on how the human body would react to certain things was the fact that he said they did a lot of experiments, a lot of human, a lot of like how blood will boil if it gets to a certain altitude and stuff. A lot of that was a result of when the Germans did human experiments on people, and I don't think that they wanted that news to get out because it would have been like kind of a public relations fiasco. And I did say I could be wrong.
No, I understand. I've just been pulled into two gigantic things. One of them is the anonymous radio people, and one of them is basically a bunch of cool guys that are like in the BWC, things along those lines. Some fun people that are just fun to hang out with. And
I wonder how they feel about my letter.
I don't know. It's more like a pitch, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We are trying to get, seriously trying to get this Brazilian company to basically import their form of pornography here to the United States. I think it would make American pornography great again.
And quite a coup for the whole porn industry.
I think there could be a great face-sitting porn with a Donald Trump look-alike. Oh,
make porn great again, Debbie.
And then you can wait a minute, Debbie. Hold on a second. You can have the ghost of JFK, Abe Lincoln, and they can all get face sat.
Oh no, y'all are
God
so
damn
bad.
it.
You're bad. What? I'm so bad. I'm sorry.
Debbie, you know that's a great fucking idea.
Okay, it is. I'll have to say that. What? It is.
Debbie hates all of my.
I don't know if you know it. You don't know it yet, but it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
It is, and you know what? When that porn video makes millions of billions of dollars, he goes, "I was there when MMM had his face sitting idea. What am I going to call it? All the president's faces is what I'm going to call it." And yeah, I'm just saying.
Brilliant.
It's almost as brilliant as when someone came up with the idea for the Maltese Vulcan. The porn version was the Maltese dildo. Or yank my, Yankee Doodle Dandy, yank my doodle, it's a dandy. Okay.
Oh my God! Shut up, Brian. You're a mess. You are a mess. You are a mess.
Put a lot of thought into this, Debbie.
I can tell. I can tell.
It shows.
Hello, welcome to the call. Welcome to the show, Sonny of Mobster Boss Radio, and Donald J. Trump, who is Aussie Andrew, Jeff the Gray, Eric, and my new friend Katana, who is really cool, and Tina Carpenter. Tina Carpenter's in the chat room. She's really cool too. I met her in the other chat room over there, and me and other people. Eric and me and Ronald is in there, and other people are in there. Glad that you guys are hanging out. It's good to hear you here, see you here. I had a lot of fun on your show. Not a lot of fun, but it was very, very interesting. I can tell you that right now. It was very interesting. Yeah.
By the way, the Haagen-Dazs ice cream that I ate today was not very tasty. And what kind of sugary treat did you have, Debbie Schnoo?
Cookies.
What kind and how many?
A whole bunch.
Oh my fucking God! See, you went.
Well, I did good. No, stop. I did good.
You're back on track, lady.
No, I did good for a long time. I'm going to start again today.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I hate it. I truly hate it.
I'm going back.
Never too late to start.
I'm going back to Overeaters Unanimous.
You just went there for the cookies.
They don't have cookies. It's at Alcoholics Anonymous that they have for the cookies.
Yeah, well. You know, it's really interesting that JFK was assassinated only 10 days after he was demanding UFO files from the NASA. Interesting, huh?
You know what? I've just heard too much about, for me anyway. And I forget the guy who wrote the book, but like I said, to me, I am most conspiracy theories, except for the ones like that will be like, to me, the conspiracy theory to silence people who are critical of Black Lives Matter and the monetization. I think that conspiracy theory, particularly of these Fortune 500 companies, I don't know. I I don't want to go off on my tangent. Sorry, Debbie. I'll have another bowl of ice.
Do it.
What? Go ahead. I was listening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the hell.
I lost my train of thought. That ice cream, by the way, and that fucking Haagen-Dazs ice cream was not tasty. And I spent like $4 on that shit.
You sound truly bitter.
You know what? That fucking liquor store is not getting any more of my money. That quality of food is not tasty.
Yeah, you tell them with your wallet.
I will.
I'm sure they'll feel the impact.
Yes. Now,
Big ass wallet of yours.
Dut says back to porn just like in real life. And I must say that it is much more of a studying thing. Just like in Playboy, I read a lot of the articles. You know, Playboy really did have really... You know, I remember reading Jimmy Carter's interview. My dad had that great 1976 Playboy magazine. And I forget the chick that was on there, but it was quite wonderful. And Debbie's going to get pissed off because I've taken over her show.
No, I'm not.
You're steaming.
No, I'm not. I'm reading. I was reading something.
Yeah, her Skype's blowing up right now.
No, I wasn't reading that. I was reading that that JFK actually gave an address, and here's part of what he said.
Makes a startling proposal.
Finally, in a field where the United States and the Soviet Union have a special capacity in the field of space, there is room for new cooperation, for further joint efforts in the regulation and exploration of space. I include among these possibilities a joint expedition to the moon. Space offers no problems of sovereignty. By resolution of this assembly, the members of the United Nations have forsworn any claim to territorial rights in outer space or on celestial bodies, and declared that international law and the United Nations Charter will apply. Why, therefore, should man's first flight to the moon be a matter of national competition? Why should the United States and the Soviet Union, in preparing for such expeditions, become involved in immense duplications of research, construction, and expenditure?
That's all. It was just he was talking about the possibility that there are things out there that we need to go and check out, the unidentified flying objects and stuff. They've all known about it. The reason they can't tell us about it is everybody will panic. Everybody would panic because we're all a bunch of pussies. I mean, I'm not, but they would all panic and go, "Oh my God, they're talking about the end of." I mean, what about when they did the War of the Worlds? Remember that? Everybody went crazy. I think that was just somebody trying to see what would happen if it really happened. You know what I mean? Are you over there moving, JP? Are you packing?
Of course, it also could be a big setup.
What could be?
I don't know if you've heard of the possibility that this could all be a grand setup for one day a UFO hoax of some kind, perpetrated by the government, of course.
Do you believe in UFOs? Do you believe in the possibility of life on another planet somewhere?
Yes.
I think it would be rather uppity of us to think that we're the only planet in the world that has life on it. I honestly feel that way. It's
kind of hard to think that we're the only place where life could exist, or intelligent life at least.
And to be the most powerful country in the world, we've got to be the most ignorant country in the world because we're the most sheepish. We've got some of the most ignorant people that just walk right behind the other one. You know what I mean?
In a lot of ways, you're right. I think we're behind in many ways.
It's not so much that. It's just that people are so sheepish in this country. They just fall right in line and go get their hay or their alfalfa, and they don't question anything. They don't look to the skies. They don't look in history. They don't do their own research. They just fall right along. Well, whatever the mainstream media tells me, that's what I'm going to believe.
Yeah.
Anyway. What is that noise?
It's definitely one to think about. It's been an ongoing discussion, I think, since JFK, and he got assassinated at a strange time when he was trying to push for some agenda. Have you been following these? What are they called? The people you were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Who? What?
The people who want disclosure. I guess disclosure people.
What about
there's that doctor, what's his name? I just wondering if you've been following them still, or if you've been
absolutely
talking to any of them.
I keep up with all of that stuff.
Wow, okay.
Did you hear the new Greer movie that came out?
Dr. Greer.
Yeah, did you hear any of that?
I haven't. No, I've heard about it. I think that's the last thing you guys were talking about. I was wondering if you had actually seen the movie.
Mm-hmm. I have.
Oh, okay. Is it worth seeing?
Yes, it's pretty scary.
Am I gonna? Oh.
Pretty scary. Just watch it if you dare. Is all I'll say. Watch it if you dare. Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. What he said and what he came up with, and he had a lot of people on there. A lot of people.
What happened to Mr. Midnight Movie? Did he fall asleep? Is he in some kind of UFO trance?
No, I think he just went to the restroom.
Yeah, most likely. Who are you connected with now? Are we on another? Are we syndicated right now to another show? Or?
No. We're not. No, we're not.
Oh,
we're just.
Damn! I want to make new friends, Debbie.
Well, we've got new friends.
That's true. That is true.
People are going to have to realize that what was once thought of as propaganda or conspiracy theorists are right. Seriously.
Could be. The interesting thing has been how the fake media has been so exposed in the last several months, and how hard that the whole Trump regime is trying to, really put some discrediting information out there to the media, or at least showing that how inaccurate a lot of their reporting is.
You think? Yeah, absolutely. That's the biggest problem we have in
Pretty
this freaking country.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when we were going through never more was it more glaring than when we were going through our most recent presidential election. When they would make the biggest deal out of some little tiny thing that Donald Trump did, and they wouldn't say a thing about Hillary Clinton, not a word. They made her out to be a saint. Made her out to be a saint. So, yeah, I was there.
It was polarizing times.
You don't do that. You don't do that to people. Did you see, Jewish producer, I want to ask you, you're Jewish.
Sure.
What was the original temple on the rock, the dome on the rock? What was the original ownership of that? What was it?
Ooh.
Belonged to the Jews.
That beats me.
It belonged to the Jews.
You mean who? Oh, you mean the temple that the Jews built?
Yeah, the temple and the dome on the rock, all that stuff that was taken over during a war from the Muslims. The Muslims took it from the Jews. Remember?
Was taken, yes.
It's very sad. So it's not because the Muslims claim that it's a holy place where the Prophet Muhammad, went back up into space on a donkey with wings, and
whoa,
they do. That's exactly what they say. But it was taken over in a violent war that happened over there, and it went from being the original temple was built under the reign of Pilate and Herod. Remember, the original temple was built, and it was occupied by the Jewish gosh, I'm so lax for words here. And now they're saying they're saying it's all Muslim.
I was just talking to Mr. Midnight. I was just talking to Mr. Midnight Movie before we came on the air about my Hebrew school studies and how we really didn't get in. We learn a lot about the history of Judaism, but it's more about stories that were told by the prophets. Fables that were related to the Torah, and so a lot of those questions we didn't really get into too much. Some of those, the students that were really actively pursuing more knowledge about Judaism were studying that sort of thing. And I think I was kind of doing the minimum. I was just kind of getting by and learning what we were taught, but I wasn't really doing it on my own to go learn things like that and answer questions like that. But yeah, that's kind of how it went down. The temple was built, and then it was there was a war, and then it was taken, and and then there was the question of possession and ownership ever since.
Yeah, they've called it the lost temple of the Jews. It's very sad what happened. The Muslims came in and overtook it because they want to take over everything in the fucking world. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. They want...
Give me my temple back.
Well, I think it's sad.
Indeed.
I think the Muslims poisoned me with their shitty fucking ice cream.
Yeah, they probably did. There's a Muslim that owns a little convenience store near my house. I don't go there. He's always got shitty products.
Do you think the Jews will try to build the third temple?
Yeah, of course they will.
I don't know.
Turn it into a movie production studio.
I think they will. Hollywood Kingdom of the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mass media is definitely owned by Jewish people.
It certainly is. And leftist Jewish people at that.
Yeah.
I remember when my father was part, like when he would go to the Screen Actors Guild meetings, and this was in the 80s, and he was infuriated. He'd come home infuriated one time because they were talking about, like, at the time, East Germany, and they were talking about what a great place it was. And there were still at that time quite a few conservatives in Hollywood, and they were like, what is this fucking bullshit? I mean, if not conservatives, somewhat moderates, and they at least knew that East Germany was a totalitarian hellhole. And, so... Oof, my chest is... Oh, never mind. Anyway.
Don't say that. Don't say your chest is hurting. That's not funny.
I know. Don't scare us.
It's not funny.
Well, okay.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, we've had a lot of trouble lately with people on the show. I've had to ban some people.
Yeah. There was a chili guy that died recently. Like, who owned a chili store.
Like, he owned it. Okay. It wasn't the original Chili's.
No.
What do you mean a chili store?
No, he was, oh, fuck.
He was a franchisee.
Stop. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Yes. What?
No. I'm all right. I just need some water.
What is wrong? Is your chest hurting?
We're going to have to call 911?
No, you don't have to call 911. Just a little bit of dizzy, just a little bit of lightheadedness, and a little bit, tiny bit of
chest
pain? A little bit of tightness. No, just a little tight. But I'm good.
Damn it.
No, I'm good. Never mind. Forget what I said. Oh, shit. Let me get some water in me.
Who will die first, Ross or Mr. Midnight Movie?
I might.
Okay.
Oh.
You okay? Do you have any aspirin?
Oh, shit, I know what I did with it.
Chew up an aspirin.
Okay.
That's what they give you when you come into the ER and they think you're having a heart attack. The first thing they do is they give you an aspirin to chew up.
So I'm just thinking here. Okay. I'm always aware because my mom was kind of had an upset stomach before she had a heart attack.
Is your stomach hurting?
It's not. But, well, a little bit.
What? Mr. Midnight Movie, this is not funny. This is not cool.
Well,
you're going to have a heart attack because the main symptoms are upset stomach, dizziness, and chest pain. That's it.
Well, I'm not having a chest pain.
You have tightness in the chest, though.
It was a little bit, but that might be psychosomatic, I'm thinking. Okay.
For the listening audience out there, you might be hearing your first heart attack live on the air.
Yes.
Right here on the Debbie Daily Show.
Yes.
It's not funny.
Okay. Fuck. All right. Jeez.
What?
Nothing.
Do you have any aspirin?
Take your aspirin out, chew it up.
I have my heart medication. Should I take that? Maybe?
What is it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'll take my heart medication.
What is... Wait. It's not a statin drug, is it?
It is...
What?
It is... AMLODIPIN.
I don't know what that is.
Nickelodeon?
You don't take a statin drug, do you?
No.
They'll kill you. Man, this is weird. It's spooking me out.
Here goes another thing of amlodipine.
What is it again? Tell me what it is. Spell it again.
AMLODIPNE.
Let me see. It says it's a calcium channel blocker. Did you put it under your tongue or what? I hate this. Damn it! Go to the hospital and get saved.
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
Stay away from the hospital; it'll kill you.
True. It's a calcium channel blocker that dilates the blood vessels. Is what it says. It's called.
Okay.
Yeah, Norvasc or something. It's used to treat chest pain and other conditions caused by coronary artery disease. Oh, I don't like that. It's horrible.
I think I'm feeling better though.
I hope so. You're supposed to take it every day, it says.
Yeah. I just took it another time. I just took it twice. But you know what? One of the symptoms of this shit is it makes me feel dizzy. Have you ever taken this shit before?
No, hell no.
Why not?
Drugs like that? No.
You don't have? Do you have high blood pressure?
No,
Oh, you don't.
No, I don't.
Oh.
Too many matzo balls.
Do you have? Do you have? Oh, you don't have diabetes either. Okay.
No, I take one drug, hypothyroidism. I take Synthroid. That's it. That's it.
I think it was because I took my drug later is why I'm feeling dizzy.
You said you've only had 2 since the beginning of time.
No, I took 2 today. I could do that, but...
I hate that.
I know. These drugs don't make me feel good, Debbie.
Because you're not supposed to take drugs. Your body can work itself out. I don't know. I just hate it. Just everybody do what's right. Everybody just be real still for a minute. Shh. Just let me think. I just have to calm myself down. See, I lost my mother at the very young age of having a lot of heart attacks. A lot. And it was not pretty. It's bad. It's very bad. I don't like it.
I wonder how bad those 5-hour energy drinks are.
Oh, please stop. They're full of sugar and caffeine, aren't they?
Oh, not they're sugar-free, but they're filled with a shitload of caffeine.
Oh, now that sounds real healthy for your heart.
I need something to pep me up, Debbie Pooh.
I guess you want Debbie Pooh. I guess you want to die, so I'm not going to love you anymore. I'm going to just fall out of love with you. If you're going to die, there's no need to get attached, right, right, Jewish producer?
That's right. Don't call me anymore.
Don't call me anymore.
You know what? I'm feeling better now. Okay, I'm feeling better. Actually, you know what? I am. That drug hit the spot.
Are you guys watching Better Call Saul?
No, I don't.
Debbie?
I don't watch Better Call Saul.
Oh, you got to watch it.
Is he turning into Saul finally? Is he turning into Saul?
Yeah,
Goodman?
yeah. We finally learned that this season. How his name came about.
It's all good, man.
It's all good, man.
It's all good, man. That's all right.
All good.
Mr. Midnight Movie.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just making sure you're still there.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the Saul Goodman commercials? They're so funny. Better Call Saul. Take a listen to this one.
They're fantastic.
It's 39 seconds long. Listen.
I had a good job until my boss accused me of stealing. I better call Saul! I was out partying, minding my own business.
You are under arrest.
I'd better call Saul.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do, and so do I. I believe that until proven guilty, every man, woman, and child in this country is innocent. And that's why I fight for you, Albuquerque.
Better call Saul.
Oh, hello. I was just working on a multi-million-dollar lawsuit for one of my clients. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, a lawsuit sounds good, Saul, but
who can I sue? Who can you sue? Try police departments, libraries, construction companies, school officials, cleaning services, financial institutions, local and international, your neighbors, your family members, your church, synagogue, or other religious institution, your employers' customers, suppliers, companies in other countries, companies that made the drugs that were turned into the drugs that you took. The possibilities are limitless. But Saul, how can I sue these people and institutions? I have no grounds. Do me a favor. Let me answer that question in person. Better call Saul.
Paid for by Saul Goodman and Associates.
Mm-hmm.
So he's turning into Saul Goodman now?
Who, me?
No.
Yes.
On the show? Really? That's good. I haven't been watching
Yeah.
it. I like your house,
Debbie.
Yes.
What's that?
I like your house.
Nice.
Did you finish
You
the
know,
cabana?
what I did today was amazing. I assembled. I bought a incredible barbecue. It's like a double burner. It's got the butane on one side, and it's got a charcoal grill on the right side. And I put the whole thing. I could have waited until Wednesday and had it assembled for me, but I got some time Sunday, so I spent half the day today putting this thing together. But it's done, completely done. I'm ready to barbecue. I need now. I need to just throw a rager.
A rager?
Yeah. Debbie can't
I'm
eat
ready.
steak anymore.
What?
Not right
I'll make
now.
you.
It has to be fat-free steak.
I'll make you something else. Yeah. I will barbecue the best corn. I'll make you a veggie plate.
That sounds
on
good.
this grill.
I'd like to have that. I've had to clean up my entire diet.
Except for those 20 cookies.
Well, tell Steven to stop buying them. I didn't eat 20.
Some shit I would fucking do and almost die. But I'm not going to die.
Debbie,
He's right. What's his face is right. I'm full of shit. Don't listen to me. Just like that guy, old Reuter.
Oh, Reuter died.
Yeah, well, Reuter's dead. That's a bad example. You could have pulled anybody out of the hat. Why'd you pull him out?
I don't know. Old Reuter.
Well, I guess I'm going to get off the old air Reno here because I'm too nervous to stay on the line anymore with you, fixing to have a heart attack on me.
Yeah, it's starting to freak us out, dude. Go to the doctor.
All right, I'm gonna go take a shower and hit the hay then. What?
Nothing. I just hate it. Ugh.
I'll be good. Don't you fret, honey bunny.
All right, I won't.
Here you go.
All right.
Well, thanks for having us on. It's been a good show.
It has been
a little
Debbie.
quiet tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Midnight Movie and Jewish producer, my two lovely babies.
All right. Good night.
Good night,
You.
precious. Good night. Oh, the boys. We call them the boys. I'm just looking to see what's going on in the other chat rooms. Lots of emojis being posted, I can see. Lots of emojis. All right. Yes.
Well, wait a minute. I got. Don't leave, Mr. Midnight Movie. Well, I got something to say to you.
Wait, I'll have to ring them back in. I just rang them out.
Ah.
Hold on. I can ring him back in. Hold on. See if he'll pick back up. Pick back up, Mr. Midnight Movie. You're still online. He's not picking
That's
up.
all right. But
sorry.
he wasn't having a heart attack.
How do you know that? There he is.
I'm pretty sure of that.
Mr. Midnight Movie?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sonny has
Hey,
something
buddy.
to say to you.
Hey,
How's
I
it
was
going?
gonna. Hey, good. You take a calcium channel blocker, right?
Yes.
Are you taking that for blood pressure?
Wait, hold on. Wait. Am I, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Hello?
Brian, can you hear us? Just listen to the
Yeah.
Skype call.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, you take that for like blood pressure, yes?
Yes.
And you haven't noticed that. See, a lot of people way back in the military, we were given, or people. I'm not saying we. Some people were given beta blockers to steady their hands, slow their breathing, and kind of slow down their heart rate for various things that they needed steady hands for. And the calcium blocker, I don't think does quite the same thing, but what it does is it reduces your workload on your heart. And that's why a lot of times you feel like you need a little pick-me-up. But I can tell you this, if you're taking that for your blood pressure, I'd be a motherfucker if I would ever drink one of those energy drinks. Buddy, you can't do that.
Really?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it at all. So
It's the one thing that wakes me up.
no, I get that. But you're probably okay drinking a couple of cups of coffee. But if you've got an issue like that, I'd be kind of careful with all that caffeine.
Yeah.
That's all, man. I just, but I think that if you notice when you take that, you may get tired though, right?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Take what?
That calcium blocker that you're taking.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I stopped. That's one of the reasons I stopped taking it. It was like, because it was like I want to, like it was cutting into my work and my money making ability.
Yeah. You know what? Ask your doctor. See, there's a reason, I guess, that he's giving you that to keep, because that blocks calcium from entering into your heart or something like that. So it's a little bit different, but it still slows your heart rate down. It reduces your workload. It reduces the heart's demand for oxygen, and it works the same way a little bit that beta blockers do. It dilates the all of that good shit, and it is really intended to prevent heart attacks as well. It'll lower your blood pressure, but it'll also prevent heart attacks at times. I would just, and the only reason I know so much about that is a lot of guys in the military had to take stuff like that. That's what I heard. Anyway.
Well, they used to give guys pep pills too. I mean, like.
Oh, they did. They'd give them the old what were those called? The little white crosses. They were like 50 milligram, whatever the fuck they were. But they would give a lot of guys that had to go out on a bad assignment and sleep was an issue, so they'd just give them a pocket full of those. So you got in one pocket, you got a pocket full of pick-me-ups, and in the other pocket, you got a pocket full of let me get my hands steady and get my breathing straight, right?
Yeah.
A lot of snipers used beta blockers, and you'll find that professional pool players use them. Golf, in fact, they're illegal to propanamol, which is a really one that the golfers love to use. That's banned from any tournament play now. So, but a lot of that stuff, I just that's good for your heart, man.
That's good. Yeah. So
yeah. So all you got to do is just kind of take care of that, I think.
Now, can you have regular blood pressure and still like not high blood pressure and still have a heart attack?
Sure. Yeah. Just because if a person has high blood pressure, okay, that's one of the problems with that is you've got a greater risk for heart attack, kidney disease, stuff like that, kidney failure, and stroke, right? But when it comes to if you've got normal blood pressure, if you've got a blockage anywhere, like in your heart or something like that, you can still have an issue. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know what your deal, what your real condition is, but man, I'd be careful with that tightening of the chest stuff.
Yeah. It just
does it.
Yeah.
Does it make you hurt in your back as well?
No.
Okay, that's good.
But I think I took my medication a little bit later, so it made me a little bit dizzy. And I just to be on the safe side, I just took another pill.
Okay. All right. Well, cool deal. I wasn't trying to get in your business. I just hate to see you fall out.
The only thing I'm saying is that with today's technology, if what you're taking is something to prevent a heart attack, that means that the situation is there. You are primed to have one. We almost thought you had one a couple of weeks ago when you went to the ER. They wanted to keep you, okay? And all I'm saying is with technology being as far advanced as it is today, with putting in stents and shunts and blunt, all this crazy stuff they do, they can fix that just like that if you've got blockage. If you're dealing with possible blockage and high blood pressure, you're playing Russian roulette right now. And the only thing I can say is I would do everything possible to stay alive for the sake of my family, for the sake of other people, and I guess for the sake that I just want to stay alive, and I just don't see that with you for some reason. That's all I'm saying.
I'm always afraid, one of the things is, if I get into the hospital, things can get I'm just afraid of things the way they are now with my father, and I'm looking after him, and also with work too. It's I would lose my position at my job.
You're gonna lose it if you fall out, brother. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you realize what kind of a lawsuit you could have against that company or that institution if you were to lose your job because you were in the hospital having a heart attack? Do you realize what you just said?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, I can't imagine staying away from technology the way it is right now. Now, from what my mother went through, that would be a goddamn nightmare. But technology today is crazy. It's come so far. It's unbelievable. They do that stuff laparoscopy wise.
Yeah. Do you sometimes worry though, like if you go into the hospital, they're going to find other shit out?
Well, I go to the, I remember I've seen, like, one of the things I'm afraid of too is open heart surgery.
Yeah,
and I've seen guys like in recovery from that, and they're never the same. And I'm afraid that that's not the quality of life I'd want.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a good friend that he had to have open heart surgery when he was 45 years old, and he was a used car manager for Preston Chrysler Plymouth over off of Preston Road, Preston 1. Anyway, he had this. He got up in the middle of the night. And he had this tightness of his chest, and he started worrying about it, and then he started hurting, and then he couldn't breathe. And he waited until the next morning because he was walking up and down the stairs. This is how terrible his thinking got. He was going up and down the stairs to see if he had the strength to go up and down the stairs. And he was using that as some kind of judge, some kind of measuring tool as to whether his heart was okay or not. And when he finally did go to the doctor, they told him that he could have just died right there on the spot doing all of that. I wish you'd really take care of yourself.
Tina Carpenter in the chat room says she's had 2 surgeries with her heart.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she just said in the chat room.
Oh, okay. I wasn't looking at it. Wow.
And she said it still didn't fix it, though.
Wow.
I don't know
there it goes.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know.
Doggone it. So you've got your diabetes under control as well, huh?
Not well. A lot of times, but I'm gonna be honest here. I'm a compulsive overeater, and I will like really gorge out a lot of times and just.
There was a friend I had. His name was Steve Carlisi, and he was the producer for Opie and Anthony for like 10 years. And Steve became, what he kept telling me is I'm just addicted to the goddamn food, man. He said it doesn't even matter what. He was telling me that sometimes he would get up in the middle of the night and eat like 3 slices of bread, just to be chewing something and swallowing it. And it was like he would just do this. He didn't even really like some of the food that he became addicted to. He was just eating out of boredom. And he had I don't know if you know who he is, but he committed suicide several years ago. But Steve was kind of a big guy, and he had this huge problem with that. He was always afraid he was going to die of a heart attack. And then I don't know what happened to him. He got real depressed and lost his job and then checked out. But
well, you know something? It's really and truly. Someone said we're only, the healthiest people eat the least amount of food.
I agree with that.
And if you can find a way of really only eating 1 meal a day, that's all you need.
Right. Right. The Japanese have this theory in the workforce that they need to be hungry all the time, literally hungry, because they perform better. Not starving. They're getting the nutrition they need, but you're right. They don't eat much at all, a lot of these people.
Well, a lot of religious practices, they have people fast because it makes you more intelligent. It makes you more alert. And,
it does, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've noticed sometimes, like, when I get up and I don't eat for a while, it does make me more alert. And people go, "Oh, breakfast is the most important meal of the day." That's not true. All the stuff, and it was the government that promoted all that shit, like these 3 square meals a day. It's not true. It's a fucking lie.
I agree. It isn't true because look. I think I eat very healthy and I take care of myself. I am telling you, there is no way I can eat breakfast. When I hear that breakfast is the most, I don't even want to think about food in the morning.
And you should.
That's right. I don't. Well, in my opinion, I can't. And but I just can't imagine eating a big. And it's really funny though. I don't like breakfast, and I've met a lot of people that are the same way. I don't care for breakfast unless I'm on the road traveling, and then I love breakfast.
Yeah, that's
what the fuck is that all about, huh?
Because you know what you do, like because you're like sometimes like when you're driving, in the morning, like you're driving for a while and you get a breakfast spot and steak and eggs sound so fucking good with some
damn
hash
right
on the fucking side.
They do, and that now that you say that, I eat pretty healthy, I think, but when I'm on the road, I don't eat that healthy. I like I'll pull in somewhere if I'm on the road in the morning or something, and I'll pull in and eat. You're right, eat steak and eggs and whatever else they've got, 4 pancakes, and it's just crazy. And I don't know if I just use that as my time if I'm traveling or something to just pig out once in a while. But
I'm the kind of guy who likes flapjacks for dinner.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Debbie just taught me how to cook pancakes here recently.
What?
Yeah, brother. I can whip out some pancakes now.
See, and Debbie and I both can't have that shit right now. Thank you, Debbie.
She did. I tried to make pancakes and I made it so horrible. I didn't realize you were supposed to wait till the bubbles formed and all that shit. And I'm going to put the spatula under it. I'm going to turn it, and all the dough just goes everywhere. Or whatever, you batter. Just goes fuck. It looked, like I said, it looked like a crime scene. It was horrible. And then she made a little video, and I know how to make them now. I know how to cook them. So there you go.
But, I'm such a foodie. I remember I went to, the House of Pancakes, and I had all these different kind of pancakes, and just there's some like, oatmeal-based pancakes, and just
wow.
With food, you can do all kinds of shit, and sometimes you get that fusion going, and it's just sometimes with your taste buds, it's simply amazing. And I think that people should be encouraged by different tastes and stuff like that. And I think a lot of times we get hooked on stuff that we like, and that's all that we want to order when we go to a restaurant.
Right,
and we're really missing out on new experiences for our palate.
Yeah. I agree.
Because sometimes what you like, but get what you like to go. But at that time, maybe, order what looks interesting.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, somebody told me once that I didn't care for, why would I take you to a restaurant? It was the people that raised me. Why would we take you to a restaurant when you're going to eat the same food that you can have at home? And I didn't understand that, and I just figured it was some kind of abuse, but I did think about that. And why would I go to when I was a kid, I hated Mexican food, for example. And if they went to a Mexican restaurant, I ordered a hamburger. But why would you do that? And I don't understand why when you go to a restaurant, why you wouldn't order their specialty, whatever they specialize in. I don't know.
Well, and sometimes you want to try their specialty, and you want to, you want to go to restaurants where, just different kinds of foods. And, because I remember I went to San Francisco with my aunt, and we went to every different kind of restaurant.
Wow. Nice.
And it was really amazing, just the different types of sensations.
The only thing I wanted in San Francisco was I wanted to try some true sourdough bread when I went there years ago, the first time.
Oh, delicious.
Oh, is that not the best? Oh, my God.
God, fuck yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I could probably end up with an eating disorder if there was enough, if I made enough sourdough bread available to me, I could probably fuck up real good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and their Chinese food is amazing.
Ooh, I bet.
Because, you go down there, like, that Chinatown is... Now, does Dallas have a Chinatown, by the way?
No. We've certainly got a Hispanic part of town, but we don't really... Well, I take that back. There's a certain part of Richardson and part of Garland that has this Asian community up and down Plano Road. So, yeah, sort of there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've got lots of restaurants all up and down this area.
Because I would wonder if... Because it's a popular... Because I know L.A. has a Chinatown. Frisco has a Chinatown.
Yeah, but it's what we've got in Dallas is not anything like that. I mean, I'm just saying an area where they seem to congregate to live, and they've got some businesses there, but not like Chinatown in San Francisco or anything like that. We have an area in Dallas that looks exactly like Mexico, or like across the border in the border towns where it's all fucked up, and they've got all these open air shops, and dogs are running, and chicken and goats are running, and we've got that kind of an area in Dallas. That's a real big area, by the way.
Are there prostitutes like there are in Mexico? Because that's the only reason I'd go there.
Oh yeah, no doubt there's prostitutes there, but they've got shit running off of them that you couldn't get off with a Brillo pad, man.
Probably, yeah. Probably even boiling yourself in water wouldn't.
Yeah. But we've got an awfully big Hispanic community in Dallas. So if there's going to
here in LA too.
Yeah, I know you do. And in fact, the Hispanics in Dallas are they seem to be poised to. Now, the Dallas Independent School District is now a majority of Hispanics in the school district in Dallas. And usually, if you just watch that, and once they bust over, it's not very long before the Hispanics will become the majority here.
I can imagine, and they'll be voting, and they'll be voting too. And
well, that's already happening, brother.
Yeah. They'll be voting in other Hispanics. By the way, I mean they're going to be.
That is starting to happen, especially in a lot of the outlying communities around Dallas. It's changing dramatically, the makeup of most of those city councils and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
And I wonder if their voting patterns and their beliefs, if Dallas or even Texas itself will be Texas, or even America will be America. Like how America will change culturally and economically when America does become a predominantly minority or a predominantly brown and black nation, or a predominantly brown nation. I wonder how American, because they're probably going to transport a lot of their beliefs here in America. And I don't know if that's really going to be a good thing.
I don't know either, because I know that well, see, here it is. I just got to be careful about the way I put this. In the communities that are becoming more Latino, or whatever you want to call it, I just was reading something. Apparently, Jeff the Gray said that he knows Spanish and Mexicans that despise the word Hispanic. So we'll call them Latinos or Mexicans or whatever. Anyway, I've noticed in the areas that they seem to congregate or go to live, and then when they start taking over those cities, they start bringing in all the mass transit in those towns. And I don't know about how it is anyplace else, but in Texas, as soon as you get mass transit, you get everything else.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And the thing of it is, I mean, will America? I mean, yeah, and the thing of it is, if this starts happening, world, I mean, our cities, and will there be a Republican? When America turns that way, will there even be a Republican Party?
Well, you know what? I've thought about that, because if you think about that, there's been some question as to whether Texas is on the cusp of turning blue. And see, we've been primarily a Republican-run state, although we have little pockets of of that. But we have primarily been a Republican-run state, and now there's some question as to whether that's going to hold into the 2018 elections. And I don't know. I really don't know how well that's all going to work, because you have to think back a long time ago, back to Ann Richards, before you get to another Democrat that was governor here. Yeah. And I don't know.
Because I'm thinking once America becomes like the big cities and strictly Democrat, I mean, I got to think that that's going to be kind of the end of America. America will be kind of finished, because, common sense and once conservatism is completely dead, I think America will be dead. I think.
I agree. I think that conservatism, even though I think that these liberals and this other way of thinking, I think that there seems to be more people on that side now, and I don't know if it's because they're all into the entitlements and you know what I'm saying, and everybody gets a trophy kind of thinking. I just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I worry about our country.
You know what? I just think it's just natural. I think you know what, man? It's so hard. And things are so much more expensive nowadays than they were back in the day, and government makes it more expensive. So it's just a never-ending cycle of the bottomless pit of how of money, of the things that cost, and if you work hard, what your dollar will buy. And it's like, I think you kind of, it's kind of like a drug addict. You kind of got to hit rock bottom before you realize you got to do something else, and it's going to take a long time to climb out of it. I mean, it took the United States years to get where they are, and of economic trial and error and however, and that's going to be ruined in a couple of generations. I mean, it's already, like I said, when my parents bought their first home 40 years ago, they made a combined income of $56,000. I mean, they made a combined income of $30,000, and their home was $56,000.
Wow, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And back, and then before that, all you had to make was $9,000, and a home was $11,000.
Right.
It's just, and it's like you could actually work hard and make it, and now that's not a possibility anymore. You can't just go out and be a single man or be a working class husband and wife anymore, and your hard work is going to pay off. That part of the American dream for a lot of our cities isn't there anymore.
Right.
Right.
No, I agree. But you know what? I really think, though, if you look back at the way our country is and our country was set up, it's almost like whoever is in charge, whether it's Republicans or Democrats at the time, the other party is there to serve as kind of a check and balance on it. It's gotten too vicious now to even go that way. But a long time ago, there was a certain amount of respect that after the election was over, it was over. But right now we're seeing everything that these people can do to discredit Trump. And you know what? If he's guilty of some kind of collusion, I say string him up. I don't mean string him up literally. I mean try him or whatever. If some of that's real, but I'm to the point now, buddy. I don't know what's real and what's not real.
No, and you don't know what's, and really and truly, you don't know what's reliable news and what isn't. But I know that what's coming out, like particularly within the mainstream media, what's coming out is a lot of it's over dramatized bullshit. Law and order is something that's being attacked, and it's like shit, dude. Whatever happened to crime and punishment, man? And a lot of these people who are crying, today's civil rights movement, basically today, it champions the degenerate thug.
Sure. No, I get that. And I just don't understand any of this. And it really bothers me because, I think that like, I feel like I'm a politically conservative. I don't even think I'm a Republican anymore, but I'm a political conservative, but not to the point that where I think my party left me is when they started catering to all of the huge corporations. And I know a lot of the Democrats do as well, but the Republican Party is notorious for kissing up to corporate America and letting big tobacco, big automobile, big oil, pharmaceuticals. They write the fucking laws. They just tell these people we elect, and as their puppets, the corporations seem to write these laws. And if it's whoever the politician is loyal to, all you got to do is watch, and it's going to favor a certain way. And so I don't know that. See, I really have, because I try to look at this realistically, and we can't just have it one way.
No, you can't. But yeah, but sooner or later you're gonna have it. Sooner or later, although the social justice warriors are getting their asses kicked on social media,
right.
The Democratic Party is not it's not the Democratic Party of Kennedy. It's the Democratic Party of the left.
I agree.
It's not even liberal. It's leftist, man, and it's going to be if they get in control, it's going to turn America into just one big inner city of shit. Where a few people on the top, and then there's just a criminal foul element. Crimes won't get punished, and it'll just be complete lawlessness.
Well, and I think right now we've got that going on right now, and I've said a million times, I support our president. Do I think he's the best guy for the job? No, but he's the guy that got elected.
Yeah.
And so I feel it's our duty as Americans to support the president of the United States and hope to God he's got all the right stuff in place, because that's all we can really do.
Yeah.
But this constant trying to I don't know. I really, really worry about our country.
Well, the first thing that we can do is is just strive to take our at least some forms of our higher institutions of learning back. College campuses, there has to be free speech, and those that interrupt speakers and stuff should be kicked out of campus at best and thrown in jail at worst. There should be no toleration of people who take away people's First Amendment rights, and that's what's happening now.
I agree. I agree, and that's just it. Our rights are absolute.
Yeah.
There's no question about those. And so I don't understand where anybody would say, well, but we need to make a rule that, we'll let them all do this, this, and this. But when they travel over to this side of the deal, then we need to put some kind of regulation on it. That's how that shit starts, man.
Yeah. You know what? Freedom of speech is a right. It's not a privilege. It's a right.
It's a right.
It's a fucking right.
Absolutely, it is.
And it's like, and if you're trampling on that, fuck you. I'm sick of these groups, and they do it in the name of anti-racism, anti-fascist. That's, you know what? In fascist regimes, you'd be stomped out. You weren't allowed to speak out against fascist regimes.
Right.
You think? I mean, I'm thinking. You think the Jews in Germany were ever allowed to speak out against their treatment in Germany?
Right.
Give me a break, man. It's like it's such a load of shit.
Well, and I'm watching our chat room, and I'm seeing just how insane it. All of a sudden, Jeff the Gray. I don't even know who this guy is. Citizens of the USA have the freedom to be as stupid as they want to be. You goddamn right they do.
Fucking A.
That's exactly right.
And I act stupid every day.
Right.
And I'll make my own. Yeah, and I'll make my own good decisions as opposed to somebody else's bad ones. That's what, because every government, it seems like every government basically controls you because they think they know what's best for you.
Of course, yeah.
That's what every dictator says,
Exactly. Dictators do. You're right. And they also let the public think that I'm the only guy that can get you out of this mess.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And the people who make it better for you, really, in the end, is yourself.
Absolutely. You got to take some responsibility. And when you fuck up, you got to take some responsibility for that. And when you do something you're proud of, own it.
Yeah. And when you fuck up, own it.
Own it. That's right.
Get back on the playing field and, just gather up again. Realize what you did wrong and get another strategy.
Right.
Anyway, with that being said, Lester, I'm going to Betty Bye.
Well, I got to hit the sack myself, brother. You sound like you're feeling better.
Dr. B just came on the call, didn't he?
Dr. B, buddy.
Hey, what's up, man?
What are you doing, brother?
Woo.
Go
ahead.
Wait just a sec. Mr. Midnight Movie, if you got to hit the sack, brother, I get it, man. Go hit the sack.
I got to get Betty Bye.
Well,
good
take
night,
care
Dr.
of yourself,
B.
man.
Good night, Debbie. Thank you, guys.
Good night, Mr. Midnight Movie.
Good night, everybody.
There you go. Oh, Debbie.
What?
Oh, I didn't know if you were still here.
I took my headphones off, but I'm still here.
Oh, yeah?
I was just listening. Dr. V, what's going on with you?
Not much. Just enjoying Father's Day. Yeah.
Well, good for you, man.
You're so happy. You're so young. I was happy when I was that age, too. I'm sorry. Well, don't let the conversation die because of me. Go ahead.
No, well, we were done. I mean, I was done with Mr. Midnight Movie. I was just really worried about him.
Oh, I see.
Totally, I was. But I've got to hit the sack because I've got to get up in the morning.
I have to be over at Heather's house at 7.
Oh, my God. There is nothing good that could happen at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I know. And it's so sad because if I go to sleep, I just have to ugh.
If you sleep like that, if you don't get all the sleep you need, do you feel hungover?
Oh, God, yeah.
Me too.
I've been asleep all weekend.
Really?
I slept all day yesterday, all night last night. I've been asleep all weekend.
So what were they talking about that you had eaten that you weren't supposed to eat tonight? What'd you eat?
Just some cookies, that's all.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, just some cookies. Yeah, Ronald, I'll show you Granny Debbie. You want to see Granny Debbie? Fuck you. Go ahead.
You're not supposed to eat, probably because of the fat or something.
No,
sugar.
Right? Sugar.
Sugar. Wow.
No, I don't want to do sugar.
I was
doing
well, listen,
so
I've
good.
got to get out of here, though. I've really, because I've got to get up in the morning, and I don't have to be anywhere as early as you do, but I've got to be somewhere all day tomorrow. So.
All
right. Well, thanks for having me on.
Sure.
And Dr. B, I'm sorry I had to go when you showed up.
Hey, no problem, man. I just enjoyed the political conversation there.
Oh, well, good. All right, buddy. It's always good talking to you. I'll talk to you later. Y'all take care. Good night.
All right, bye.
Hey, good night.
Wow, we were just fixing to get out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, you came on kind of late.
Yeah. Just taking a weekend off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I haven't been around either on Spreaker.
Yeah.
I was playing a documentary called, it's a good documentary telling the truth about what's going on in the world. I mean, well, yeah, it's all a rich man's game.
Yeah. Rich people.
Well, it's just goes back to the robber barons of the original railroads and how the elite control everything we do.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm so sad because Jet's gone for the summer. Haven't y'all can't figure that out? I've tried to tell y'all that. It's just horrendous when he goes. I hate it. I hate it. But anyway, yeah, so. All right, I guess we're going to get out of here then. It's late. I guess it's 2 o'clock. I'm sorry you came on late.
Yeah.
Did you just get up or something and see us online?
Well, I have been focused on, talking to a friend of mine, and it's one of my friends, and his mother died, sometime a year or two ago, and he's like, he only had his dad, so I had to be a good friend to him and just talk to him almost every day,
He's not suicidal, is he?
Oh, no. I didn't hear any reports about him being suicidal. No.
Oh, okay. Be careful.
Yeah, it'd be terrible had I heard about that.
Yeah, it's true. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you call earlier tomorrow night, Dr. B. We enjoy having you on the broadcast here with us.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll resume Real Talk while I'm at it, because I can't wait to start back on Monday.
Good for you. Yeah, do that. Just ignore me. I'm just completely not myself right now.
No problem.
That's why I've been kind of laying low.
Yeah.
Until this passes, until I get used to it. It always takes about a week or two, but I hate it. All right?
All right.
All right. We'll see you next time, Dr. B.
All right. See you next time.
Take care, baby.
All right. You too.
And that is going to do it for me, boys. Till the next time I see you guys. All right? See you later.